In this video, we're going to talk about Java wrapper classes. So wrapper classes provide a way to use primitive data types such as int, double, boolean, etc. as objects. The table below shows the primitive type and the equivalent wrapper classes. So int is the primitive data type, integer is the wrapper class, likewise long, double, boolean, and char. Character is the wrapper class for the primitive char type. There are certainly all 8 wrapper classes for 8 primitive data type, but I only included the ones that could be important. And here's how we can use them. We can create an my integer of type integer, just like we did the primitive integer, and double and character for char, and then we set the value, and we can print them just like we did in any primitive data type. And creating objects from the wrapper classes. Since you are now working with objects, you can construct them like objects and then use certain methods to get information about this specific object. So for example, the following methods are used to get the value associated with the corresponding wrapper objects. So int value will get the value from an integer object, long value, double value, char value, and finally the boolean value. And then let's see the same example as my int is a new integer with the value 5, and then double my d is a new double with the value 5.99, and then character my char is a new character with the value a, and you can print their values with my int dot int value, my d dot d value, my char dot char value, and the output will look like this. So why and when to use the wrapper classes? Sometimes you must use wrapper classes, for example, when working with collection objects such as array list that we see in the past, where primitive types cannot be used. The list can only store objects. And then here's an invalid way of creating an array list with int. Since int is a primitive data type, we cannot pass it as an object. However, we can use integer wrapper class and then create an array list of my numbers. So let's see some examples with the wrapper classes in this demo class. So I'm going to create an integer object a, let's say, and then I will assign the value of 15. As you can see, actually, a is an object and 15 here is an primitive variable. What I'm doing is I'm actually taking a primitive data type, I'm wrapping this with an integer class a. This is called boxing. So boxing or wrapping. So I can also create an integer b and assign it to a, which will take a is an object, and I'll take its value, assign it to the primitive integer b, and this is called unboxing. Unboxing. Okay. So you can print both of them, pla, and you can print nb. You should get the same values. Compile and run. So 15 and 15.